Accordingly, under the rule, the committee rises.
The House will be in order. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Speaker, the Committee of the Whole House of the State of the Union had under consideration H.R. 1540, and pursuant to House Resolution 276, I report the bill back to the House with an amendment adopted in the Committee of the Whole.
The Chair of the Committee of the Whole House on the State of the Union reports that the committee has had under consideration H.R. 1540, and pursuant to House Resolution 276, reports the bill back to the House with an amendment adopted in the Committee of the Whole. Under the rule, the previous question is ordered. Is a separate vote demanded on any amendment to the committee amendment in the nature of a substitute reported from the Committee of the Whole? If not, the question is on adoption of the amendment. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is agreed to. The question is on engrossment and third reading of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Third reading.
A bill to authorize appropriations for fiscal year 2012 for military activities of the Department of Defense and for military construction, to prescribe military personnel strengths for fiscal year 2012 and for other purposes.
For what purposes, the gentleman from Oregon rise?
Mr. Speaker, I have a motion to recommit at the desk.
The House will come to order. House will come to order. The gentleman from Oregon has been recognized. The gentleman from... Clerk will record the motion.
Mr. Schrader of Oregon moves to recommit the bill, H.R. 1540, to the Committee on Armed Services with instructions to report the same back to the House forthwith with the following amendment. At the end of Subtitle B of Title VI, add the following new section. Section 617, increase in maximum amount of special pay for duty subject to hostile fire or imminent danger. A, hostile fire or imminent danger pay under existing special pay authority. Section 310B1 of Title 37, United States Code, is amended by striking $225 a month and inserting $325 a month. B, imminent danger pay under consolidated special pay authorities. Section 351B3 of such title is amended by striking $250 per month and inserting $325 per month. C, application of amendments. The amendments made by this section shall take effect on October 1st, 2011 and apply with respect to months beginning on or after that date.
The gentleman from Oregon opposed to the bill?
I am in its current form.
The gentleman qualifies. Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Oregon is recognized for 5 minutes in support of his motion. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues in the House, we've come here today to fulfill our constitutional duty and provide for the common defense of this great country. As we finish consideration of the National Defense Authorization Act for FY 2012, I believe we have one more duty to fulfill. Mr. Speaker, my final amendment to this bill offers an opportunity for all of us to come together and recognize the supreme sacrifice our fellow citizens populating our armies and navies make on our behalf. Regardless of how one feels about the underlying bill or the mission of our troops in Iraq or in Afghanistan, we can all agree, I hope, on the valor, the sacrifice that we see in our soldiers, Marines, airmen, and sailors who put themselves in harm's way for our protection. They've been sent overseas to face hostile fire and imminent danger to themselves in service of the Constitution of this great United States. They do an extraordinary job and, I believe, are deserving of our utmost support. My amendment proposes an additional authorization for an increase in combat pay for troops deployed in the field to be added to the underlying bill. In the coming months, we're going to debate appropriations for FY 2012 and beyond. I hope this body will engage in a successful debate to put the United States on a fiscally responsible path. But budgets should not be balanced on the backs of our troops. Our fiscal situation is well known to each and every member of this body. We all know the task before us will be very, very difficult. We know the fiscal decisions we make in the coming months will determine our ability to provide for the defense and security of the United States. And without question, the federal deficit and national debt are national security concerns. This issue before us at this moment does not go against that recognition. This body has already recognized the need to look at defense and security spending in order to meet fiscal objectives. I believe we can find enough savings within the Department of Defense to make a few necessary reinvestments like this. If we do our job well enough this summer, my amendment will allow us to put a small portion of the savings we find into an increase in the maximum amount of special pay we make available to our troops facing hostile fire or imminent danger in 2012 by a mere $100 a month. I have the distinct honor of representing thousands of Oregon National Guard troops and veterans who served bravely in Iraq and Afghanistan. They have left their families and their jobs to face death and injury in combat. They deserve our support. Current compensation levels for special combat pay were set back in 2003. This was before insurgency and IEDs were commonly understood terms. For 10 years, we have asked men and women of our armed forces to face great danger. It's time we provide them with more for the risks they're willing to make on all our behalves. Voting yes for this final amendment will not change the fate of the underlying bill or increase federal spending. It simply offers us all the option of giving ourselves a chance to do the right thing and support our troops. I urge a yes vote on this final amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act for 2012, and I yield back.
The gentleman from Oregon yields back. For what purpose does the gentleman from California rise?
Mr. Speaker, I rise. I seek time in opposition to the motion to recommit.
The gentleman from California is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in opposition to the motion to recommit on H.R. 1540, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2012. The authorizing language we have before us is a result of extensive bipartisan collaboration and unprecedented transparency. And to offer this motion at this time and on this very important bill is poor form and smacks of pure politics. It pains me that after such an effort on our part to work across the aisle, the Democrats have offered this motion. I fail to see where there's not been ample time, opportunity for input, discussion, debate, and resolution prior to this moment. I'm dismayed that they would deem it necessary and prudent to play politics with this very important bill. I need not remind all here that we're a nation at war with troops in harm's way, in combat every day, fighting for our security and the future of our nation. During full committee markup, a total of 281 amendments were filled, with 224 adopted. This compares to 172 filed and 137 adopted the year before. This process throughout has been historically collaborative and resulted in the legislation being passed overwhelmingly 60-1 out of committee. We had all kinds of time to bring an amendment that would be helpful like this. Then they bring this one. There's no offset. This would just put us again above the allocation from the chairman. This is really more Democrat increasing spending. I oppose this motion and ask my colleagues to stand with me.
The gentleman from California yields back. Without objection, gentleman from Oregon is recognized. Okay. Without objection, the previous question is ordered on the motion to recommit. The question is on the motion. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. No. The noes have it. The motion is not agreed to.
Speaker, ask for recorded vote.
Gentleman from Oregon requests a recorded vote. Recorded vote is requested. Those favoring recorded vote will rise. Sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their vote by electronic device. Pursuant to Clause 9 of Rule 20, the Chair will reduce to 5 minutes the minimum time for any electronic vote on the question of passage. This is a 15-minute vote.
A procedural vote, the last chance to change the Defense Programs Bill before a vote on final passage. The legislation would provide a 1.6% increase in military pay, fund an array of aircraft, ships, and submarines, and also increase health care fees slightly for working-age military retirees. Here's more from a reporter who's been covering all of the debate. Eugene Malero of Congressional Quarterly. The House continues work on the annual defense authorization bill for a third consecutive day. How's the debate going?
The debate has been quite passionate, especially into Wednesday night when they debated amendments offered by the ranking Democrat of the House Armed Services Committee, Adam Smith, that would require, that would strike language in the bill allowing for the transfer of detainees at the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base to be allowed to be transferred into the United States. The Democrats want to take that language out, while the Republicans insist that, that's best for the national security. That amendment, and an amendment that's been going on, that's been debated today, an amendment offered by Democrat Jim McGovern of Massachusetts, that would require the administration to offer a plan for the withdrawal of troops in Afghanistan, has been actually, that debate has been ongoing since the bill was in markup, in full committee markup earlier this month. There's a growing, Democratic bloc. There's actually a growing constituency that is opposed to, a large U.S. presence of troops in Afghanistan ever since, the Navy SEALs captured and killed Osama bin Laden. And now, a political bloc is, gaining momentum to, get out of Afghanistan, reduce troops in Afghanistan. And this is what, the main debate has been going on today.
What about that amendment dealing with defense contractors and their political contributions? What was that amendment about?
That actually was quite a lovely, that was a quite interesting amendment. It stemmed to a draft executive order that the President put together earlier last month, and it was in response to the 2010 Supreme Court decision, the Citizens United versus the FEC, that ruled that corporations and nonprofits have the same free speech rights as individuals do. And the amendment essentially looked to prohibit the companies from disclosing, prohibit the executive agencies from requiring companies to disclose their political contributions, which under this Supreme Court decision they're allowed to do so. Tom Cole, the Republican of Oklahoma, offered the amendment. The amendment was adopted Wednesday night, and Democrats are arguing that it is not in the best interest of the country to allow these companies to not show, where they're putting their political dollars and campaign contributions.
So briefly, at the end of the day, how is the bill going to fare on final passage?
It's supposed, the McGovern amendment on Afghanistan will be, the high impact one, that and the Adam Smith on Guantanamo Bay detainees. So final passage, we're expecting the bill to gain enough support to be sent to the Senate. However, a lot of observers are unclear how the House is going to vote on this McGovern amendment on Afghanistan. But once it's in the Senate, Carl Levin's committee will most likely do away, strip some of the provisions that are very controversial in the House version, including a policy measure that would put restrictions on the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I can totally see the Senate, scaling back on that, and also doing their own version of some Afghanistan language.
Eugene Malero of Congressional Quarterly. Thank you.
Thank you.
In addition to hurdles the House defense bill may have in the Senate, the White House has issued a veto threat on several provisions in the bill, dealing with the engine for the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter and implementing the New START treaty with Russia. Another White House veto threat involves provisions related to detainees held at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. The Military Times writing that language in the bill would limit detainee transfer, which the policy statement calls a, quote, dangerous and unprecedented challenge to executive powers by precluding the option of conducting trials in federal courts. Another provision would restrict transfers of detainees to other countries, which the statement says would interfere with foreign policy and national security decisions. So right now, a procedural vote here in the House, up next to vote on final passage of the Defense Programs Bill. In the meantime, during this vote, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi talked earlier today about Medicare and the increasing costs of pharmaceuticals at her weekly legislative briefing. She's joined by Maryland Representative Elijah Cummings.
Good morning. How are you? I'm very pleased to be here with my colleague from Maryland, the ranking member on the Government Reform and Oversight Committee of the Congress of the United States. He's going to speak to an issue that he has taken the lead on and for which we are very proud of him, that relates to price at the pump and the role of speculation in it. But before we hear from him, I wanted to say that since last we met, we had a spectacular election in New York 26. I want to congratulate Congresswoman-elect Kathy Hochul for her wonderful campaign. Medicare was the issue, as you know. It opened the door for her, and she walked through guaranteeing Medicare for America's seniors, calling into question the priorities of making seniors pay more while giving tax breaks to big oil, and again, their focus on job creation. As you may know, she is a respected county clerk of Erie County. She is not unfamiliar with Washington, having worked for Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan and our former colleague in the House, John LaFalce, but she brings a great knowledge of her district, which is more important than any familiarity with Washington. She is a mom to kids, to young children, not young children, college age, to all the people out there who wonder who's going to take care of her children. They're college age, and we feel I know that she'll be a great addition to the Congress. I spoke to her again this morning and said you really did a great service to the American people by making the fight for Medicare, and we thank you for that, especially in calling to the public's attention the wrong priorities of making seniors pay more as we give tax breaks to the wealthy and to big oil. I wanted to move on to the issue of Medicare. We always say Medicare, Medicare, Medicare. Medicare in the 26th of New York, Medicare in terms of strengthening it. Some of you may recall that in our 6 for 06, or when we took over the House in 07, or 606 election, we had two provisions in there that are relevant to the discussion we're having now. One of them is relates to how we strengthen Medicare and actually lower cost, all health care cost in our country. And if you can read it, I will read it from the actual card, which you may recognize. Fixed prescription drug program by putting people ahead of drug companies and HMOs, eliminating wasteful subsidies, negotiating lower prices, and ensuring the program works for all seniors. This negotiating for lower prices is something that we didn't succeed with when President Bush was president. We did have it in the House version of the health care bill, but it did not, we couldn't hold it in the Senate. But we do believe that it is a way to strengthen Medicare by reducing cost. I could answer some questions about dual eligibles, et cetera, but the point is there are savings to be had by negotiating those drug prices and addressing how Medicare reimbursement takes place for drug benefits. It also was part of our 606 was lower gas prices and achieve energy independence, and specific to that, crack down on price gouging, eliminate billions in subsidies for big oil and gas companies, and use the savings to provide consumer relief. That's the subject of that our distinguished ranking member, Mr. Cummings, will address more specifically. But how it relates to Medicare is in our old friend, Mr. Markey's chart. That is to say, the chart is our old friend. The oil rig on top of a Medicare card. How can you face the public when you vote for a bill, the Republican budget, that gives tax breaks to big oil while requiring seniors to pay more for less and empowering the health insurance companies? It simply is the wrong priority. Democrats will not let this happen. Medicare is a pillar of economic and health security for America's seniors. We will fight to defend it. We will guarantee that we will prevail, because, as President Lincoln had said, public sentiment is everything, and the public sentiment is to preserve Medicare. Again, we intend to strengthen it by reducing cost of drugs, etc., by eliminating fraud, which is a part of our health care bill as well. But the fight that we will be having is with those who want to end Medicare. That simply will not happen. Now, as we talk about the misplaced priorities of the Republicans, and we talk about the fact that they're giving tax breaks to big oil while they're raising costs for America's seniors, it's very important to note what other things are being done about it. Our distinguished ranking member, Mr. Cummings, has issued a report. You may be familiar with it, but you're going to be more familiar with it now. I thank him for his leadership and yield the podium to him.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. We in the Oversight and Government Reform Committee were extremely concerned, that is, the Democratic side, and all of our folks on our side, we were concerned about the fact that we see our constituents every day or every weekend, and they're complaining about gas prices $4 and above. And so we decided to look into this, because we'd heard all kinds of reasons for it, for these high gas prices, and we issued this report called Real Help for American Consumers, Who's Profiting at the Pump? And what we found was that, and our research is quite extensive, is that industry, government, and other experts agree that excessive speculation is driving the costs of oil, potentially by as much as 30%. That's very, very significant. We also found that this whole idea of focusing on the industry's priorities of increasing drilling will have almost no impact, which is interesting. The EAI, the United States Energy Information Administration, by the way, which is, as you well know, is our foremost source of energy information analysis, has said that there would be no change by 2020, and that gas prices would decrease by only 3 cents per gallon by 2030 by going this drill baby drill route. And third, what we found in our research was that the influence of speculators have increased tremendously. In March, the CFTC warned that from 2008 to 2010, futures contracts held by speculators increased 64% in energy contracts. That's very, very significant. And so we're not trying to, what we discovered is that there's something called excessive speculation. And then, of course, the case that just was filed by the CFTC deals more with illegal activities. And so, but there is a relationship. So, again, we've got to concentrate now on this excessive speculation. Gas prices higher 30% because of that. We have to address that, and hopefully I'm calling on Chairman Issa to use the resources of our committee effectively and efficiently to look into this speculation. And two, we're going to have to protect the provisions of Dodd-Frank, which has provisions that will allow us to put certain limits with regard to this excessive speculation. And I'm open to questions, Madam Chair.
At cspan.org. So the House now is wrapping up this procedural vote. Up next, a final passage vote on the Defense Programs Bill.
On this vote, the ayes are 185 and the nays are 233. The motion is not adopted. The question is on passage of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes have it. For purpose, the gentleman from California rise.
Mr. Speaker, on that I request a recorded vote.
Gentleman requests a recorded vote. Those favoring a recorded vote will rise. A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their vote by electronic device. This is a 5-minute vote.
After 3 days of debate, the House is voting now on final passage of the Defense Authorization Bill, setting defense programs and policy for fiscal 2012. A quick overview of some of the provisions in the bill. It authorizes $119 billion for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. It also allows the purchase of 32 F-35 Joint Strike Fighters and the development of a second engine for those planes. After this, the House is waiting for the Senate to finish work on extending provisions of the Patriot Act. 3 provisions in the law dealing with wiretaps and surveillance expire tonight.
vote. The yeas are 322 and the nays are 96. The bill is passed. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Without objection, the title is amended. For what purpose does the gentleman from California rise?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that in the engrossment of the bill H.R. 1540, the clerk be authorized to correct section numbers, punctuation, cross-reference, and the table of contents, and to make such other technical and conforming changes as may be necessary to reflect the actions of the House in amending the bill, and that the clerk be authorized to make the additional technical corrections which are at the desk.
Without objection.
Okay, gang.
Purpose does the gentleman from Arkansas rise?
Mr. Speaker, I ask for unanimous consent that my name be removed as a co-sponsor of H.R. 1380.
Without objection, so ordered. For what purpose does the gentleman from Pennsylvania rise?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to remove my name as a co-sponsor of House Resolution 1380.
Without objection, so ordered. Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the House will stand in recess, subject to the call of the Chair.
After 3 days of debate, the House has approved the